Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my favorite video to film, and that is my TBR videos. I am just so excited to be doing this because I love them, but also it has been such a rainy, gloomy weekend and I needed just some little injection of happiness into my days, and that is going to be this video. So I'm really excited because this month we are jumping back into the TBR prompts. I think I had 1 or 2 months where I didn't. I know last month I definitely didn't. I had like a massive TBR of like 30 books for my birthday month that I was just kind of mood reading through, and I feel like I didn't do a prompt one the month before, but I don't know if that's accurate or not. It doesn't really matter at this point. We are back to it for this month. That being said, I do have some that I've already picked for the month that will not be part of the TBR jar. The first 3 are my normal non-negotiables. I didn't do them in June because I just wanted to give myself a break from them, but we're back with those, and that is my Mary Higgins Clark, an Agatha Christie, and a classic to try to work my way through those very long collections that I have. So the first up is going to be my Mary Higgins Clark. This month it's going to be The Cinderella Murder. This is part of the Under Suspicion series that she has, which follows a TV show producer that has this crime show that looks into old cold cases where there was at least 1, if not 2 people that were sort of under suspicion for the crime, but the police were never able to reach a conclusion on if they were actually responsible, so they were never charged or formally found guilty, and she reopens these cold cases. This one is actually, I guess it's the very first episode. It really doesn't matter if you read them together or not. There's like an underlying plot that kind of connects together, but it's not the main one for all of the mysteries or anything like that. So this is following a cold case called the Cinderella Murder. 20 years ago, a brilliant and beautiful UCLA student named Susan Dempsey was found dead in the Hollywood Hills the morning after she was scheduled to audition for the lead in an up-and-coming director's new film. Her car was parked miles from her body, and one of her shoes was missing. With suspects ranging from tech billionaires to Tinseltown elite, Lori and her under suspicion host Alex Buckley are certain that sensational cases, suspense, and drama are perfect for the silver screen, but is Cinderella's murderer ready for a close-up? So that actually doesn't give a lot of insight into who was originally under suspicion for the crime, like most of the descriptions do, but that's okay. I do enjoy that little interconnected series, so I'm excited that that was the next one up that I picked. Then my Agatha Christie for the month is The Mirror Cracked. This is a Miss Marple mystery. Hers are not my favorite. I do prefer the Hercule Poirot ones over Miss Marple, but she's kind of quirky. She has like a cozier vibe to her mysteries. Okay. My light decided that it didn't want to work anymore. I'm so sorry about that, guys. So this is what we're working with today. Not a lot of natural light, because like I said, it's very gross outside. The back of this gives 0 description for what the plot of this is, other than it's a Miss Marple mystery. So I guess we're going into this one a little bit blind. And then my classic for the month, we have Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. I read this, I think, sometime in college maybe, but I don't remember anything about it, which is why I wanted to reread it and put it back on my physical TBR. Most people know a little bit of the storyline, because it's like that main quote, like, "Please sir, may I have some more?" And it's like a little orphan that is asking for more food. The orphan is Oliver Twist, and he is working in one of the workhouses in England, and it's a whole depiction of the struggle between good and evil as Oliver becomes ensnared in the labyrinth of London and the nightmare world of Fagin. With its macabre humor, its starkly rendered contrasts, and above all, unforgettable depictions of Fagin, Oliver Twist is the most compelling of Dickens' early novels. Alright, we're gonna charge our light for a little bit while we continue talking, and then maybe I can get it back. So those are my 3 non-negotiables. Like I said, I try to pick one of those pretty much every month, and then I am part of a book club on Fable, and it's not final conclusion. They haven't completely wrapped up the poll, but I am fairly confident that the winner of the poll for the month is going to be Kissed by the Gods by Katie Rogan, and I've heard incredible things about this. I think it was an indie book before it went trad published. I don't really know too much more about the plot or like the premise beyond that. I can't speak to it too much, but I am really excited. It's caught my eye a couple times in the store since it's become traditionally published, and now I have an excuse to read it, so pretty excited about that. This month is a little different because I actually have 2 books that I decided to put on the TBR on top of those. I don't normally do that. I normally end up picking 6 different prompts, and we just pick based off of those prompts. This month it's going to be a little different because I really need to prioritize reading the tandem read for Throne of Glass, which is Empire of Storm and Tower of Dawn. I don't even know which one of these is technically before the other one in the reading order. If you don't do the tandem read, I have to figure that out. I have to tab everything. These are insanely long books to tandem read together, which is why I haven't started it. Tower of Dawn is like 660 pages or something like that. Empire of Storms is actually more than that, close to 700. So like this is going to take up a significant amount of my month, and I was like, if I don't set this on my actual TBR for the month, I'm just not going to get to it. And I really want to, because I really want to finish this series so I can read Crescent City this year. That was one of my goals for the year. So I need to get to this done. So those two are automatically going on the TBR, which puts me up to 6 already, which means we are only going to be picking 4 prompts, which is a little sad because I do like picking prompts, but you know, it needed to be done. So we'll pick our 4 and hope that they're good ones. Hope that we can find some shorter books, because like I'm gonna need some shorter books after these. Kissed by the Gods is also a very long book based off what I've seen, and yeah, I'm gonna need some short ones. So fingers crossed for those. The first one, a sad book. You know, that really wasn't what I was hoping for. I mean, I could probably find a short sad book, but like, really? I did this to myself. Okay. Might take me a second to find some that fit this prompt. This prompt was actually kind of difficult because I don't have a lot of lit fic on my TBR that I can think of right now that I knew fit the vibe of this. So I actually gravitated towards some that I think are more romances, but I've heard that they're very sad and moving. So hopefully one of these will fit. The first one I picked was In 5 Years. This one is very short, which is kind of nice. And I don't know, I feel like I remember somebody saying that this was really sad and moving. Then we have Archer's Voice. This is a romance, but like I know a lot of people end up crying while they read it, and this is one of like the OG book talk books that I feel like I really need to get to. The only problem is I read another Mia Sheridan book a year or 2 ago and didn't really like it, so that's kind of been deterring me from reading this one. And then we have If Only I Had Told Her, which is a companion book to If He Had Been With Me, but I think this is in the guy's point of view before everything that happens in that book, and that book is very sad. So I made the assumption that this would also be sad, but I don't know if that's actually going to be the case or not. Honestly, because I really wanted some short books on my TBR, I think I'm going to pick In 5 Years because these are significantly longer. This one is only, let's see here, 251 pages. So that sounds kind of nice. I can't remember the last time I read a book that was under 300 pages. So yeah, this one definitely wins out. This follows someone named Danny Cohen, who lives her life by the numbers. She's nothing like her lifelong best friend, the wild whimsical, believes in fate Bella. Danny's meticulous planning seems to have paid off after she nails the most important job interview of her career and accepts her boyfriend's marriage proposal in one fell swoop, falling asleep completely content. But when she awakens, she's suddenly in a different apartment with a different ring on her finger and beside a very different man. Danny spends exactly 1 hour, 5 years in the future before she wakes again in her own home on the brink of midnight, and it's 1 hour she can't shake. In 5 Years is an unforgettable love story, but it's not the one you're expecting. I think this just really makes her question a lot of the things in her life and whether those are the things that she wants. Is this the person that she should be with? And I think all of those things culminate into like a very moving story and depiction of life, and the idea of like the path that we choose and what could have been different if we had just chosen one different thing. So I don't know if this is not actually a sad book. Let me know. I mean, at this point it's on my TBR, but it'll be nice to know that I messed up picking this one. So this one's going to go on the TBR. All right, prompt number 2. Free pick. Oh no. See, normally this is great, but like my brain has been a little bit too frantic for free picks recently. Okay, this could be hard. So since we're in summer, I've definitely been feeling like gravitating towards romance books, and I know I just picked one, but it's supposed to be a sad romance book, so I would like to pick a happy, cute, fluffy romance book. So I pulled some options for that. I'm probably going to make Horton pick one for me because I just don't know for sure which one out of these I want. But the first one is Summer People. This is an indie book that I was gifted during like a book club retreat that I actually wasn't able to go to, but like they still sent me the goodies because I had signed up and everything. And this is set in Maine, and I think it's like a grumpy sunshine. She shows up there and he thinks that she's part of like the summer people that only shows up to the town during like peak tourist season, and he doesn't really appreciate that, but the case is actually that she is moving there, and she starts getting along with his niece, which he does not appreciate. So for a very not great synopsis of this one, I've just been curious about this one, and obviously, like Summer People gives great vibes for the season that we're in. Then we have Play Along by Liz Tom-Forty. I just really want to finish the Windy City series. I love this series so much. Interconnected sports romances, and she just writes men, like book boyfriends, like no other, and I just really tear through these books when I read through them, so that's why we have this one. And then It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan. I read Nora Goes Off Script last year. Really enjoyed the writing style and like just the little moments of profound insight into life and adulthood, and just those little moments were just so beautifully done. Very quick writing style, and they follow adult characters in their romance, which I really appreciate, that are normal, pretty much. Like this girl is just trying to be taken serious as a Hollywood studio executive by embracing her new mantra, fake it till you make it. Like, that is something that most adults can relate to. Like, at some point in our lives, it feels like we are not doing enough and we are not actually succeeding in what we need to, but we're just gonna keep faking it and hope that eventually we'll get there. And it's not anybody famous, it's not anybody that's like profoundly talented in something, it's just a normal person. And I really enjoy that quality in her books, and the romance was really good. So all that to say, I really want to read through her backlist. We're rambling again, which is what I do. So I'm gonna make Horton pick for me. Horty, come pick a book. Come pick a book. Get to touch one. Okay, I don't know which one you just touched. Here. Touch one. We're just gonna stretch instead. Horton, which book? Pick a book. Pick a book. Pick a book. Horton, come here. Okay, you know what? His nose was closest to Play Along, so that's the one we're gonna go with because he was getting confused and we're just not gonna get there anyway if we continue doing this. So this follows Isaiah Rhodes, who is mentioned in Caught Up. It's the brother of the main character from Caught Up, which you've seen glimpses of him. He's very funny and charismatic, and I'm excited to get his story. And then the female main character in here is Kennedy. She is like the athletic trainer, I guess is a proper phrase for it. Like, she's the doctor for the team or whatever. I guess that's actually the proper phrase for it, sorry. And he constantly goes back and forth with her, bantering with her, thinks that there is like this sexual tension going on, and she wants nothing to do with it because she needs to stay professional on the team and everything. I guess in this one, they get married in Las Vegas very randomly, and I believe that they end up staying together for some odd reason. Okay, they agree to stay married for one baseball season, just long enough to keep her job safe, but in Isaiah's mind, he's using the time to prove to her that he's husband material. So I just heard that this one's really fun. I think out of the Rhodes brothers, I will probably prefer Isaiah over, or which one? Yeah, Isaiah over Kai, just because Kai was a little bit too overly protective for me of his son. It was kind of cute, but at the same time, it's like, you need to trust somebody in your life. And Isaiah's just like really laid back, goofy, quirky, kind of funny. So I do think that I'm probably going to enjoy his story a little bit more than his brother's, even though I did really enjoy Caught Up. I'm not saying that it didn't. All right, prompt number 3. I need a fantasy. Oh no, I guess I have the Throne of Glass series. Maybe I don't need a fantasy. Oh, and my book club book. Anyway, a book that I forgot I owned. All right, there's a lot of books that I forgot that I owned, so we're gonna go digging for a minute and see which one I really forgot about. All right, we brought the light back because it's getting progressively more dark out and we really need it. So I'm sorry for all the lighting changes going on in this video. I went to my special edition collection because there are a lot of books on there that I tend to forget about because they are double stacked, and I've just gotten so many over the course of the few years that I've had subscription boxes, and I just unfortunately don't remember a lot of them because I'm not the one that personally picked them. They were just in the book box. So we have The Stars Are Dying, which actually wasn't part of a book box, I don't think. I just really liked the special edition, so I bought it when it came out. God, when did this come out? 3 years ago now at this point, probably? 2023. Then we have Goddess of the River, which is an Illumicrate book, and then we have The Glittering Edge. So I'm probably just going to pick the shortest one out of here because, like I said, I would really appreciate some short books. So The Glittering Edge is 417 pages. Goddess of the River is 400, oh, nope, that's a lie, 300 and, do the endnotes matter? Does the endnotes matter? I don't think so. 396, so that's beating out The Glittering Edge, so we'll put that to the side. And then The Stars Are Dying is, oh, that's automatically over 400 pages. So the winner is going to be A Goddess of the River. And I don't know how long I've had this one. Like I said, I completely forgot that this was a thing. 2024. So more recent than The Stars Are Dying, which I did not expect. This says, a mother and a son, a goddess and a prince, a curse and an oath, a river whose course will change the fate of the world. Ganga, joyful goddess of the river, serves as a caretaker to the mischievous godlings who roam her banks, but when their antics incur the wrath of a powerful sage, Ganga is cursed to become mortal, bound to her human form until she fulfills the obligation of the curse. Though she knows nothing of mortal life, she weds King Shatana and becomes a queen, determined to regain her freedom no matter the cost. But in a cruel turn of fate, just as she's freed from her binding, she's forced to leave her infant son behind. Her son, Prince Devrata, unwittingly carries the legacy of Ganga's curse, and when he makes an oath that he will never claim his father's throne, he sets in motion a chain of events that will end in a terrible and tragic war. As the years unfold, Ganga and Devrata are drawn together again and again, each confluence another step on a path that has been written in the stars, and this deeply moving and masterful tale of duty, destiny, and the unwavering bond between mother and son. Oh. Okay, this is apparently a reimagining of the story of Ganga, the goddess of the river, and her doomed mortal son, which I've never heard of that story, so that's intriguing to me. I actually recently read The Poet Empress, which has a lot about familial responsibilities and conflict in like a ruling family and stuff, and this kind of seems like it's giving that vibe, but also like the sadness of not seeing each other. So this is the artwork on the inside. Oh, it's the same on both sides, and then just the pretty foiling on this. That does sound very intriguing, slightly different take on fantasy than I normally read, which I'm appreciative of. The whole bound in mortal form thing actually definitely reminded me of, oh no, the witch, or whatever they called her in Pirates of the Caribbean. Kind of reminds me of her story, so I don't know if that's even remotely similar, but that's what it made me think of, and I'm gonna stick to that. So we have that one, which means I think we only have one more book to pick, which is sad because this went so fast. All right, we're gonna have to make it a good one. Make it a good one. Oh no, we have two stuck. All right, we'll take the one that doesn't want to fall off my finger. A book with an author with my initials. Oh, that's actually probably gonna be really hard. So it's HN is my first and last initial. So we'll see if we can find something with that. So this doesn't fit perfectly, but it's the closest fit that I can find, and that's Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. Obviously, like, the first and middle initial are the same as my first and last initial, actually, and the first name is exactly the same, so I feel like that's the closest that I was going to end up getting to filling this prompt. And I'm actually pretty excited about this. I love this series a lot. The first two books were fantastic. Just a cute, cozy fantasy that makes you laugh and just smile the entire time that you're reading it. This girl is desperate for a job when she first meets the villain in this story, and she agrees, like, yeah, okay, I'll work for you, even though everybody calls her the villain in this weird kind of like storybook type of fantasy world. And she goes to work for him, and it's just comedic the way that the castle that she works in is depicted as having like eyeballs hanging from places and bodies, and like it sounds like it shouldn't be funny, but the way that they write it is just, I don't know, there's something funny about it. It's not, you don't take it serious when you're reading it. And she gets sort of wrapped up in this little mystery going on with the villain and the king in the country, and stuff going on with her family, and I'm just very intrigued to see how far we take this series with her sort of becoming more okay with doing evil things. And there's also a cute little frog. Is he in this one? Yes, there he is. A cute little frog that sits in the corner and holds up a sign and adds input into things, and I'm pretty sure I know what's going on with the frog character that she, for some odd reason, hasn't figured out, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be proven right in this book. I just kind of been putting it off because the last book isn't out yet in the series, but I do think it's coming out sometime next year, so it's not terrible spacing if I end up reading it this month. So this is going to be the last book on the TBR. So let's go through all of them really quick just to kind of give a final wrap up of everything. So for my Mary Higgins Clark, we have the Cinderella Murder. For my Agatha Christie, we have the Mirror Cracked, which is thankfully a very short one. My classic for the month is going to be Oliver Twist. And then of course, we have the Tandem read, which I'm going to probably have to do at the beginning of the month, or I'm going to keep putting this off and then never get to it at the end of the month. For like a sad book, I picked In 5 Years. We will see if this actually delivers on that or not. For my free pick, with help from Horton, I ended up picking Play Along, the third book in the Windy City series. For a book that I forgot that I had on my physical TBR, we have A Goddess of the River with this beautiful Illumicrate edition. And then for a book with the author matching the initials of my name. I explained that very badly. We have Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, which is the third book in this Accomplice to the Villain series. So those are all of the books that I'm hoping to get to in July. We will see. My reading has definitely slowed down a little bit. I'm no longer on a light duty status at work, which means I am not just sitting in an office overnight handling phone calls that don't come in because people are asleep and they're not calling during that time. So yeah, I was reading a lot when I was on light duty for like 2.5 months, but I'm no longer in that position anymore. My wrist is healed enough for that, so my reading's gone down. So we'll see if I get through all of these with some of the very long ones that we have in here. Oh, I forgot, Kissed by the Gods is my book club book for the month. I completely forgot to mention that in the wrap up. So at this point, my brain's devolving. We're struggling to form full sentences and we're forgetting things that need to be said. So I'm going to sign off here. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Let me know something that's on your list for the month. What's your highest priority book for July? And I hope that you have a great upcoming month. See you in another video very soon. Bye.